Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for attending today's meeting, and to the councillors and the officers and to the representatives of the management and membership of the golf club. I see no members of the public present, but this meeting is being recorded. This meeting will be uploaded to the YouTube channel. Councillors and officers are reminded of their commitment to the civility and respect pledge and to be mindful of this during tonight's meeting. Some key points of the meeting format. Please have your phones turned off or set to silent. Mine here is on silent. I'm being the change I want to see. If there's a fire, make your way out of that door in a calm and orderly manner. No need to panic if a fire alarm goes off. And I believe we would assemble in the car park outside. Don't escape via the lift if there is a fire for obvious reasons. You will be fried to a crisp. The assembly point is outside the Royal Mail Parcel Office on West Street. Please remain seated unless you were invited to speak or need to take a comfort break. The toilet facilities are out in the corridor you entered through. I don't need to talk about members of the public. Participants looking to leave the meeting, please wait until the end of an agenda item to limit distractions to other participants. If the meeting goes into a confidential session, a short 2-minute break will be held to allow members of the public to leave. I presume that would also apply to representatives of the golf club.
Sometimes.
To all present, please remember to show respect to others in the meeting and avoid interrupting where possible to enable others to follow the meeting. If any councillor feels concerned about any aspect of the meeting or discussion, please clearly state point of all order. I will then invite you to elaborate. I have the final say in ruling on any points of order. If anyone present is felt to be behaving unacceptably, they can be ejected from the meeting by resolution. On behalf of the council, I would like to thank everyone for attending this town meeting. Item 1 is apologies for absence, and we have apologies from Councillor Christina Bristow due to ill health. So I can move on to, we wish her a speedy recovery. I can move on to item 2, which is disclosure of income.
Chair.
Sorry, Councillor Walraven.
Councillor Meek sent round an email saying asking for a sub.
Councillor Meek did indeed do that, and I will record that on the later. Thank you, Councillor Walraven. I can now proceed to disclosure of interests. To deal with any disclosure by members of any disclosable pecuniary interests and interests other than pecuniary interests, as defined under the Seaford Town Council Code of Conduct and the Localism Act 2011 in relation to matters on the agenda. Does anyone wish to disclose anything? In which case, I will move on. We can omit item 3, which is inviting members of the public to make representations. I therefore bring you to the first matter for which there is papers, which is the golf professional update report. So we invite Fraser to speak on this matter.
Okay, good evening. There's no additions to that. The only thing that we have had come to light was that Golf England and Sussex Union have bumped up their fees again, which they've only just let us know a couple of days ago, or actually yesterday actually, because Sean let me know. So there might be a case of adding an additional £3 to each of the memberships on those fees that we've got on there, in a way, just to cover that. That's something that is kind of out of our control. They set it as they see fit, and I don't think they've got anybody that overlooks their governing body to do that. So we'll be collecting that on behalf of the members for that additional on that. But that would just be addition to the figures that you already have on the report there. Apart from that, no other additions to the report itself.
Okay, does anyone wish to comment on that issue, or indeed any item in Fraser's report? I have a couple of things I might raise, but I don't want to dominate the meeting, so
all seems very comprehensive.
okay, well, we'll comment on a number of things, and perhaps others have comments too. I don't want to prolong a meeting, but I want to make sure these things get a thorough discussion. Firstly, congratulations on the fact that membership is up. Congratulations in particular that membership is up, especially in the junior category. And as you perhaps know, this is an item or an issue close to my own sort of heart. That and I'm absolutely delighted to see that we are building the future of golf in Seaford. In terms of the proposed fees for renewals, again, I do congratulate you on sound public financial administration. These increases seem to me to be very reasonable given inflation and all the rest. I did notice that the slightly higher increases were with the intermediate 1 category and the youth category. So the proposed increase for 25-26 are 4% in every category except intermediate 1, where it was 5%, and youth, where it was 6%.
Might have just been a rounding up on that potentially with the numbers being they're the smaller figures, so they may well have been rounded up to the nearest pound or the higher pound.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a 464.
I think we see from the sort of league table, if you like, how well priced we are in comparison to the area. So,
yes, we are, and I might invite some discussion on that. I will leave my comments at that.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, Chair. Is it right if I ask a question?
I dare say so.
With the income for the membership, if we've got an increase of £3 per person, should we be increasing the membership by £3?
yes, yeah, we will have to. Yeah,
Okay,
we'll do
so
that. Yeah,
these figures will actually be
there'll be £3 onto what each member
so
will pay.
the actual fees that we are actually.
Yeah,
Chair,
yeah, so it'll cover that. So it won't be.
suggest that the way to deal with that is by an amendment to recommendation number 2.
And recommend, thank you, Clark, and the recommendation is to agree the 2025 membership fees for renewal. Shall I say subject to the recently announced £3 per person increase? That be a good form of wording.
The increase was from who? It was from.
It's the England Golf Union and the Sussex Union.
Yeah, so we pay a good percentage of the income we get to be affiliated to the Sussex, England Golf and Sussex Golf Union for all members. So it's the same price for everyone, no matter their age. And they literally just announced late last week, that they're going to increase from January the 1st. So it's like not a lot of notice, but
Oh, by the way.
yeah, it is literally that. I mean,
They doubled it last time and did it the same sort of notice
Yeah.
as well. So.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, can't do anything about it, so
So,
can't not accept it, can you?
no, we've got to pay it either way.
We need to vote on that amendment, Chair.
so so does anyone wish to propose an amendment? Well, let's not go there just quite yet. Before I move to votes, does anyone have any other observations on this report? No. In that case, does anyone wish to propose the amendment just suggested, namely
I'll propose it.
Councillor Rutland and Councillor Walraven seconds this item. So I think we vote on the amendment first, don't we?
That's right.
So all in favour? Okay, so I proceed to the voting on the item points in order. Item 1, to note the contents of the report. A proposer, Councillor Buchanan, seconded by Councillor Rutland. All in favour? We now vote on the amended item 2, which is to agree and please catch me if I got this wrong, to agree the 25 to 26 membership fee for renewals and new members, sections 2.7 and 2.8 of the report, respectively, subject to additional fees for the Sussex Golf Union and England Golf Union price increases, which will be passed on to members. Can I have a proposer? Councillor Walraven, a seconder, Councillor Rutland, who's doing sterling seconding job today, I might say. All in favour? Okay, so item 3 is to agree the 25 to 26 green fees and set out in section 3.1 of this report. A proposer, Councillor Shah Ali, seconder, Councillor Rod Buchanan. All in favour? So can we have a proposer for item 4 to agree the 25 to 20 should be, that's a misprint,
It's a misprint, no.
which I don't think we need, since it's an obvious typo, I don't think we need to amend the motion. Can anyone propose to agree the 25 to 26 locker fees in section 5.2 of the report? Councillor Buchanan, seconded, Councillor Rutland. All in favour? And point 5, to agree the 25 to 26 buggy hire fees as set out in section 6.1 of this report. We have a proposer, Councillor Jeff Rutland, seconded by Councillor Linda Walraven. All in favour? Okay, so that transacts that item of business. We now come to item 5, which is the course manager's update report, and that would be Simon. Do you wish to introduce this matter?
Good evening. As Fraser said, I don't have anything additional to add when I wrote it, and then it's been matched quite well with report from the RFO, so the parts that need matching. So I welcome any questions.
I would invite any councillor to speak on this matter. Councillor Walraven.
I know this is an ongoing problem, but yeah, people wandering all over the course at will. I'm just wondering if there could be a press release in the secret scene say endangers walking on the golf course. Because it is dangerous, you know, it's not funny being hit by a golf ball, but these people are at risk. So I just wondered if there could be some sort of press release. I don't know.
No,
It's
yeah.
just a suggestion.
I think there's probably, we spoke about it a little bit in the last meeting. Since then, I've gone away and met with one of the facilities team up on the course for another matter, but we had a little look around as well. Probably need a general approach to it. So if we were to do that, then either better worded signage, more visible signage in the appropriate areas. I think it's something that it's a decent bit of work to look into as a whole, because we'd like to get it done and dusted in one attempt really, and try and have a united front in what we're looking for the use of the golf course basically, and what we want to advertise and what we want to prevent.
Because I think it was during COVID where people got it in their head they're entitled to wander anywhere on a golf course because it's a municipal one.
Yeah, I think it's probably pre-COVID was still an issue. COVID certainly increased the use of it, and at that time we welcomed the use of it for that. The golf wasn't there, so there was no dangers from that. And yeah, coming out of that, there's seems to be some mixed messages from different people as to what should be done there, what is allowed to be done there, what isn't allowed to be, what's safe, what isn't safe. I mean, safety's paramount really. And that's the way I think we need to sort of pursue looking at what action we're going to do, because at the heart of everything is keeping everyone safe. So.
Thank you. Can I just come back with another one with the Seven Sisters Nature Reserve?
I might invite, if anyone has, we'll certainly get to you eventually, Councillor Walraven, about just to deal with this systematically. I invite if anyone else has any observations on the issue of people wandering onto the park, dog mess, health and safety, that kind of thing.
Can I?
Yes, Sean, please.
From experience, we find that actually very few people adhere to the dogs on leads. So there's dogs often wandering all over the place. There's dog mess in a lot of places, which is obviously a bit of a hazard. We've had to bring a local rule about actually getting a drop away from it because it becomes an issue. And it can be quite aggressive. The answers, when a lot of people say, oh, you know, watch out, you're on a course. It's like, I pay my council tax, I can walk up here, it's public land. That's the common answer we get, is I pay my tax, so I can walk here. So maybe the indication of actually where the public footpaths are, because the golfers are expecting people to come from those areas, when they just wander out in the middle of nowhere, you don't often see them. It's a danger to them, danger to their pets. But also the confrontation's not nice for the golfers. So.
I have expressed the view in the past that I do welcome the fact that different users benefit from the fact that the golf course is there, and I would like to see more people enjoying walking dogs, but obviously that can only happen as long as people are sticking to common courtesy, and sticking, which means dogs on leads means sticking to the specific paths. I'm not sure at this point what is to be done about that. I do think signage is a good idea. I've said in previous meetings, I think, I mean, I'm a runner and I run through Blatchington Golf Course as one of my regular runs. I think their signage is quite clear. In nearly all cases, it's firm but polite, not aggressive, but asking you to mind the boundaries, if I could put it that way. So I think that might be an example. But yes, it is something that I don't know what is the practical takeaway here for a piece of work to be done on looking at possible solutions for future meetings. Councillor Rutland.
I would say if these signs are so good, do we know what these signs say and can we duplicate it?
Right. One issue I think we have compared to Blackington is they have very few access points to on and off the golf course. So to keep people on that track is quite easy. We've got quite a number of access points that people can wander onto the golf course.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, we're quite well signed on the footpaths, but if knowing where to or where not to put signs, when there's people accessing at every point possible and every point visible, it's a very tricky scenario to be in, really. With the work that's going on with NNR at the moment, they've got a motto, a slogan, and one of them is access. So we need to be very careful what we include and what we don't include in NNR to ensure that the access part of their plan doesn't interfere with our golf course, basically. And I think probably while looking at that is a good time to look at the other areas that either are going to be in it or not going to be in it, and just unite them all together. And
Well, I would say you probably know this course better than anybody else in this room. So what do you think the answers are?
Well-designed signs on probably specific posts. And it goes against everything I'm thinking about, because I hate posting signs everywhere. But I think it's we've put signs on footpath stakes. I think probably a generic, well-designed sign on their own posts that stand out a little bit and advise of the dangers and probably promote where they could go. So we've got the Sussex Seaford Nature Reserve right next door to the golf course, which people seem to like the golf course more because it's maintained and because it's cut. So they don't get their feet muddy and wet, and they don't. It's just an easy access for them before they nip off to work. So just changing people's habits, I guess. But probably a united front and maybe press releases, whether it be their website, the Seaford thing, to just highlight in the best possible wording that it isn't a public right to be on there. We're not discouraging them, like say we want people to walk, we want people to walk their dogs, but we don't want people to get hurt. We were asking a lot of money from people to come and play golf. I had a discussion with two ladies that were having a conversation in the middle of a fairway, and I asked them politely to perhaps move, because there was two members on a buggy waiting to play their shot, and these two members are 7-day green fee players, so and they pay £100 for their buggy in the yard, so talking nearly £2,000 they paid to be there for that year. And these two ladies they suggested, well, could we have a couple of hours in the morning for us? I did ask them how much they'd be willing to pay, and told them how much these guys are paying. They weren't interested in that. So,
You're confusing it with facts again, aren't you?
Yeah. But yeah, so I think it's
conversation.
something that's never happened is an approach from the council in terms of social media or publicity, just to highlight what it is. It's very difficult. I know there's a lot of people we need to keep very happy.
I mean, who would plan such a piece of work? Such a piece of work being a information awareness campaign.
I mean, through the chair, I mean, the officers probably would be willing to issue regular social media updates and press releases through the website. But I guess they would need to be guided by you, Simon, in terms of how often and what messaging should go out.
Yeah.
So perhaps if you could work with Izzy, Assistant Town Clerk, and then her team could issue press releases every, I don't know, few weeks or whatever seems appropriate. It doesn't seem to be something which we're going to achieve in one go and then stop.
No, yeah, it's
gonna be
a prolonged,
thing.
constant approach.
And I think if perhaps the dangers and the risks are explained on a regular basis, then perhaps that's a way that we can try and discourage people from veering off the footpath.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think with the work going on with the NNR at the moment, it's probably a good time, because rather than saying it's not good to walk here, it's not safe, we can say, this is not a safe place but work, but did you know, Seaford Nature Reserve is just over here, or did you know that NNR is going to take over this space? Take a visit, there's lots to see, and offering a solution as well as saying, get off.
Through the
I mean,
chair.
that was the point I would like to make. I mean, I would see NNR, the NNR as a potential partner for you here, because, you know, they are all about access, and, you know, in your own way, you're all about access too, but if you can make it clear to them that a successful access is one that respects the rights of golfers, then, and how are they going to help you help them, as it were, then I think there is scope for a very productive conversation there. And I believe Steve wanted to say something. I'm also wanting to come back to Councillor Walraven.
No, through the chair, it was really about the safety element. I mean, obviously dogs being off leads are also at risk if they get hit by a golf ball. And so there's that element as well. So there's a number of different messaging that we could send out so that it's slightly different each time and people don't get fed up of seeing the same message. And I think if we had a circulation of those messages on a regular basis, it would just keep the awareness up, and that's all I was going to suggest.
I'm happy to look at through the PGA, the England Golf Union. There must be other courses that have this issue, and there's probably signage on there that give them stats about, you know, a golf ball comes off the club face at 250 feet per second and things like that. You know, it's, you know, and I've always said to people that have gone there, oh, golf ball won't hurt me, and I just say, well, take that golf ball and drop it 6 inches above your head and drop it onto your head and tell me that doesn't hurt. And then now imagine it coming at 250 feet per second at you, and you can't get out of the way. It hurts, you know, and, you know, ultimately it's, you know, potentially serious, you know, if somebody gets hit in the wrong place with it. So. Thank
you. Councillor Walraven, you wanted to turn the conversation to the NNR discussions.
Yeah, the services. This might be to the officers, but with your concern, if there's going to be further restrictions if we sign up to the Seven Sisters National Nature Reserve, I just wondered if the golf course could be excluded from it.
Do you want me to answer?
Oh, please.
Yeah. So we have a meeting with Councillor Bristow, who chaired the Climate Change Subcommittee where the NNR was put forward to full council. We have a meeting with her organised for later in December, along with Simon and Sharon, to try and agree what the boundaries of the NNR that we're going to offer to that is, which will then go forward to the full council in January. And I think at the moment we're minded that the golf course shouldn't be included in the NNR, so it should be, you know, separated from that. Obviously that's up to full council to agree, but that's where we are at the moment.
Okay.
Are there perhaps arguments on both sides in terms of including golf club? Can you see advantages to the golf club as being part of the NNR?
If I'm honest, no. I think we already have a good relationship with Nature England, and we work with Sussex Wildlife Trust as well. And in part of their management plan and the boundaries for their areas, there's areas that are Wildlife Trust managed, and there's areas that are management support to the golf course. There's management support to the golf course and management support to the farmer. And my suggestion would probably be to keep those boundaries as they are. We've already got the maps for them. So in terms of support, we can ask advice they can offer, and certainly there's some areas that they help Wildlife Trust, and it's in their lease to do so, to support where the green wing orchids grow. They have volunteers come and cut and clear. And if that sort of work can continue, and the greenkeepers support that as well, then it's sort of a win-win. We don't have some of the restrictions that are going to affect the game of golf, but we've got the benefits of the knowledge, the experience, and probably hopefully some of the funding that comes with the support they can give.
Okay, so that will be well, thank you for that. That will be a decision, as the interim town clerk says, for full council in due course, but it's good to know your thoughts on the matter. Does anyone have any other observations before we go to note? Any comments on the machinery replacement plan, which however sound it is a significant commitment to public funds. We have discussed these in previous golf review committees, so maybe that's the reason no one wants to say anything, I don't know. Okay, does anyone want to propose to note the contents of the report?
I'm sorry, Chair, I just had a thought.
You had a thought,
Which is
Councillor?
not to get to the point. From a previous presentation that you made, there was this remote golf course thing for Koreans and, you know, mapping out the golf course aerially and being able to use it for golf remotely.
Yep.
Does that become part of this report that?
I think that is my colleague's area.
Just trying to remember it. Yeah, no.
It was in his report, not mine.
I think as we looked into it more, the only people that get anything out of it are them. So basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to take our golf course as a simulation. And in Korea and Japan and the Far East, there's a lot of indoor golf courses, a bit like the simulators that we have at the golf course, where they play indoors and they use that. So what they want to do is basically take the image of our golf course and sell it to a lot of people in the thing. And so that was their whole, we'll do it for nothing for you. The comeback from us is, from looking into the company and everything else that goes along with it, not a lot's going to be coming back to us with regards to the future is. There are companies within this country that will do that on a licensed basis, which I think will be a more beneficial platform for us nationally, that we get advertising from that. If people are playing it indoors here, that they're actually going to come and visit us. The ones that go out to the Far East are literally for their market, and they want to be playing the golf courses in England indoors. So it's from a financial point of view, we're not getting anything from that. They're just going to map our course for nothing. So it's a bit. There was a few sceptical people within the PGA and other golfing unions that were pretty dubious about the whole structure of it.
So are there other golf courses in the UK that do this?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
No,
This was a famous
not officially anyway. Let's put it that way. You know, but there are companies that do this as well. As in, they'll go and map a golf course and they would call it Seaford H golf course and have your golf course on their software. But that's for their benefit, not us as a publicity sort of thing.
So it's still being pursued, or it's kind of...
It's still something we're looking at, because it'd be really nice to have that on a simulator, but it's doing it in the right way that we're going to be the benefactors of it, not the company itself making loads of money from a market halfway around the world that we're not going to see much of.
Any benefit would need to be mutual.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Buchanan, that's a useful update. Shall we seek a proposer to note the contents of this report? Councillor Walraven, and a seconder? Councillor Rutland. All in favour? Okay, so the second item is to approve the machinery replacement plan. No one asked any questions about that. That's being entered into 2 additional 5-year machinery leases. Do we have a proposer? Councillor Rutland, do we have a seconder? Councillor Walraven, all in favour? Okay. So we turn to item 6, which is golf and the view income expenditure report, 31st of October 2024. Is that Sharon? Or Lucy, sorry, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, so this report is a standard finance report that shows the income expenditure up to the end of October. The variances are in Appendix B, any significant variances. But this is also asking that we earmark any underspend from the professional fee budget for the 17th hole and the 18th tee work. So I believe that it's not likely to be spent this year, but it will be needed. So it's worth earmarking at the year end. So welcome any questions.
Does anyone wish to ask questions about this? Councillor Walraven.
Yeah, I'd like to propose that we do move the underspend professional fees for the cost of the 17th and 18th poll. I think it's good to put money there because we know it's going to happen. So I think having money well spent, you know, put aside.
We will have an opportunity to vote on that in terms of item 2, but I'm glad we have some support for that. I suppose I have a question, and I'm trying to put it in a sort of guarded way. Are there reasons for thinking on any categories that we will not meet income expenditure beyond what is kind of anticipated already at this stage, 31st of October, and what are the consequences of that for future budgeting?
I think at the moment we are on track for the year end at the moment.
Okay. I'll leave it at that. Are there any other questions? I'm getting the impression that the membership of this committee doesn't much like numbers. So there are a few categories here where if I look at the third column, variance actual, there are some columns where the variance in terms of income is quite high and negative. But also the variance in terms of outgoings are quite high. So brackets, I take it, means, for example, an income sale equipment. Does that mean we were not budgeting any income from that and we've made 13,400? So there's a variance of 13,400. But there are some quite, so that's a benefit in our favour, as it were. There's some quite high variances in green fees. Is there a reason for that?
So the green fees,
18,000, variance of 18,000 and 25,000.
well, that's at the moment, that's at this point of the year.
Yeah.
So by the time we get to March, we should have actually met the budget.
Okay,
Might
right.
be over the budget by the end of the year on that one.
Okay, right, okay. So it's based on where you're supposed to be at the year. Okay, so are we ready to vote on this matter? So does anyone wish to propose item 1 to note the contents of this report? Councillor Buchanan, does anyone second? Councillor Rutland, all in favour? So that brings us to the next matter, which is the draft budget is item 7, Golf and the View draft budget report.
Point of order,
Yes. Go on.
please.
Oh, sorry, we didn't vote on this, sorry, I do beg your pardon. So we've noted the contents of the report, we had to vote on item 2, which is, does anyone wish to propose the earmarking? Councillor Walraven, and does anyone second? Councillor Buchanan, all in favour? And I do apologise that I almost forgot to vote on that very important issue. So that brings us to agenda item number 7, which again is the draft budget report, and that again is Lucy. So would you like to introduce this matter?
Yeah, so this is the draft budget for the 25-26. The variations are within the report compared to last year's budget. The result is that we're actually looking for a reduced requirement this year. Welcome any questions on it.
So I would invite councillors to ask questions. While you're getting your brains together, I would note item 3.3 that current membership is unlikely to achieve budget due to an ageing membership profile. But if we look back to the is it the golf professionals report item 2.2, we're seeing 30 new junior members. Now admittedly junior members don't pay for their membership fees. We don't charge junior memberships, but that's got to be a good sign of a future in golf that is, if anything, is getting slightly younger.
Well,
Sorry, the question maybe wasn't very clear, but I mean, it's I suppose the question is, do we have, in fact, an ageing member profile?
it was kind of in conjunction with the golf professionals report as well, so I don't know.
I'm happy to comment on that. So yeah, we do. The problem you've got with the whole golfing industry at the moment is that you've got the ageing group that are not being refreshed, if you like. The middle group that you would call the working, which are our intermediates, are very nomadic. So generally they'll move around golf courses, they'll take offers because a lot of golf courses are trying to target that audience because they're the ones that move into the ageing membership. So they'll maybe be a couple of years and then they'll want to go and play somewhere else, or they'll move, or work might take them somewhere else. So they're quite a nomadic area. And the juniors haven't kind of got to that point yet where we're moving them into the paying aspect of it. And it's the key with the juniors is getting them between the ages of sort of 16 and 25, when there's other things to do, as children do, and they may go off to university and do all those kind of things. So it's getting those guys to turn into intermediates that then, unfortunately, Seaford as a whole as an ageing population and an ageing membership is happening, and there's not a lot of new older people coming in that will move courses. They'll generally stay at the golf courses, as Sean would say, they'll be there for 20, 30 years, they would have grown up and gone through it. Unfortunately, we're now seeing the sort of my generation, if you like, of golfers that are sort of going sort of in their early 50s and moving forwards that have been at a golf course for that period of time, but there's not a lot coming in from the generation before mine. Because they've gone into computers and things, I suppose. I don't know what they do. But yeah, but it's a kind of a very changing field with the ages of the membership. So we're trying to replace them. I mean, as far as I'm aware, Peacehaven is closing down, isn't it?
Well, we are, and we've just gained, I think, 6 or 7 members for the winter from Peacehaven, where I believe the council have taken the decision to build some housing on the car park and bits and pieces. So as a result of which they're very aggrieved, let's say, and are coming our way, which is a good thing. Whether they all come our way or not is we don't know. But I think just to add to a little bit of data to that, I think 5 years ago we did a little survey. I think the average age of the members was 67. So as you can see, if you move that on 5 years or so, and a worldwide pandemic, it's no surprising that some of the membership numbers in there gone down. So I think youth members, mind you, 5 years ago, I don't think we had any, or we had 1 or 2, didn't we? So the youth numbers are fantastic, because we all want to see new blood coming into the course and into the club. The fact they don't pay anything at this point is obviously not much of a benefit, but hopefully long term they'll get the bug, like so many of us stupidly did years ago and can't give it up.
Well, I certainly congratulate you on having such a vibrant youth programme, and encourage you to redouble your efforts there and not to see them as a burden, even though they're not currently
no burden, no.
It does take a few years, even at free membership, to actually gain that many juniors. Even giving it away. I mean, but that's a nationwide area, and of course we've only got a 180 catchment area, being on the coast. You know, you go to central London, there are courses that have an abundance of junior golf, but they're probably surrounded by about 30 schools. You know, so we've got that kind of, and Seaford is kind of an island town almost as well, so you've got a 180 catchment, and then you've got the other golf courses from the major cities, so it's a difficult catchment, and trying to keep hold of them, that's the key. But,
to assist in that as well, last year the club donated £300 worth of golf equipment to the teaching pro to help teach youth players or youth golfers. And this year the captain didn't choose a charity, he's actually got a collection pot to raise money for free golf lessons for underprivileged children, etc. in the area as well. So we're trying our best as we can to get youngsters playing, really.
I mean, I think that's great, and I think in terms of getting people to put in their hands for charity, I mean, people will tend to dig deeper into their pockets if it's closer to home, both literally and sort of in terms of their interests.
Which again, actually we've changed as well as a golf club. We've changed our charity competitions. We have about 2 or 3 charity competitions, and they were for the big Saffers, Raffers, that sort of stuff. But Lifeboat, we stopped even getting thank you letters for the cheques we'd write for them. So last year, in fact, we chose 2 local charities. One that sends children to things like pantomimes and stuff at Christmas. Again, from families that are struggling, they've had maybe bereavement in the year, that sort of stuff. And the other one was the first responders. So again, we're trying to keep the money local and actually have some benefit to the community as much as actually feel like we're doing something good, rather than just a big multinational charity that don't even seem to acknowledge us. So.
Fair enough.
Does anyone have any other points they wish to raise? Councillor Rutland, please.
Let's just see 4.2. This was talking about building works on the building. I know there was some problem with the roof. Is that what was covered in this bit of the report? Did that get sorted out?
You're looking at the previous report.
Hanging off anymore, so I don't know. But how
Because of the storm?
that's happening?
Because of the
Actually,
storm?
it might not- no, it's still there. So it's
He's
looks like
looking
it's
at
been
the
put back,
previous
but I'm not
report.
entirely sure who and when.
Councillor Rutland, we had the occasion to discuss that matter, but I'll
Okay,
don't mind taking
I
it.
might have missed it.
Okay, increased software licensing fees. Why not move to open source? What do you need from Microsoft? Budget category 4113 software support.
So Chair, this is for the emails for the golf staff.
Okay.
So like for Simon, the rest of the golf team have all got email addresses, so you need to be Microsoft does. So that's what the cost is, and it's slightly increased.
I suppose my question is, does one need to pay Microsoft in order to access email? Are there cheaper ways of doing it?
It's all with the school's ICT, so it's actually all the council use. I think that is the most cost-efficient way that we've found.
Okay, I'm a trustee of a charity and we've just moved everything to cheaper ways of doing things. But I'm sure you're aware of the options. So on that note, I will, the committee is recommended to comment. That's hardly an item for voting though. We have commented, haven't we? Or is the, how is the recommendation a voting issue? Sorry, that's on advice.
Yeah, I think it probably would be from the word recommend. So the recommendation is proposals to the Finance and General Purposes Committee. The first bit is just a discussion.
Okay, with that in mind, does anyone wish to propose that motion? I saw Councillor Buchanan's hand moving up just a millisecond quicker than yours, Councillor Walraven, but I will allow you to second. All in favour? Okay, these are all the items for which we have papers, but we have the standing item 8, which is the contribution from Seaford Head Golf Club.
Will that be made then?
It would.
Hello everyone, thank you for inviting us again. We generally just give if you've not seen me before, we generally give a little brief update of how things are going from a member's point of view. First of all, we'd like to congratulate Simon and Fraser. The course has been magnificent this year. A lot of hard work has gone in again to make it such a beautiful place to play golf, which we're all very appreciative of. The view obviously changed hands, and we've had good days and bad days. But generally speaking, it's going quite well. They're trying to build a rapport with the golf club members again, which was lost some time ago. And actually dogs, I've got dogs on my list actually, because that has become an increasing problem of dog walkers, dogs running across, picking up golf balls and running off with golf balls. Obviously the mess they leave behind, Simon and his team will diligently go around and rake bunkers so they're beautiful to play from. Well, I don't go in them, but the other golfers obviously go in those bunkers. But then dogs will, off leads, will run around them because it's a great sand pit and fun to play in for a dog. So yeah, they're having a detrimental effect, and on particular holes, again, there are signposts and stuff about keeping dogs on leads, but you've got, like for instance, the hole of the 6th hole which goes along the side of the road, so they will come on at any point along that road. So it's very hard. You can't have a signpost every 5 yards. It's you know, without a fence or barriers, as we haven't got around the golf course, it's very hard to actually funnel them in, like you mentioned at Blashington. So that's an ongoing issue because some of them are quite aggressive towards golfers, feel they've got equal rights, and you know, it's a tricky one. It's people trying to have their day ruined. So that's the other one. And then the only other really sticking point for us was this year that the payment of fees, we got very close to our bottom line as a golf club, because we have this yo-yo of we have to get the numbers from Fraser and give the numbers to Simon, I think it is, and Simon has to go back to Fraser to agree the numbers, and it seems that we're sort of caught in the middle because we've got no way of verifying them. It'd just be very handy if they were paid a little sooner than they have been, because we had Golf England chasing us this year for our fees, and we haven't got the spare funds to pay it out as such. So if we could perhaps look at that procedure next, after April next year, that we work on paying us a little quicker, please. That's about it really. I won't mention, or I will mention, there's a desire for more buggies, but that upset Simon, so I won't mention it anymore. He just did. I always try and get a lick.
Well, I would invite comment from councillors.
We invite questions, but certainly any.
I think that's already been answered, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. Thank you.
If I may come back on the point about the payment, I think if you could speak with Lucy offline, I'm sure we can come up with a better way of making that happen.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's just it just has to go back the boards a little bit. And it seems a bit actually.
If I just make a comment, there was a bit of confusion with the new treasurer as well.
Yes.
So
yes.
that did delay some things
Yeah.
somewhat because he wasn't sure what was being charged for and what wasn't.
Yeah.
So there was a few invoices that came through that weren't correct, so we had to go back and forth. So it was a bit.
Yeah.
It was a bit of tennis, but it was a bit longer than it should have been taken to do. So, but yeah.
So I think, we've discussed earlier the issue of dogs. We're not going we're not going to solve it in a single committee meeting. It's going to be something that's going to come up again and again. But I think we have suggested some first steps. I think the thing is to take these first steps and look at the impact and then follow them up. And we have limited powers here. I mean, you could have, strictly speaking, if people are if they're not members and they're not on the paths of trespassing, but the idea that we could actually pursue that is, frankly, for the birds. So we've got limited practical powers, but we can take the first step, which is to try and, educate, encourage, persuade, inform other users of their obligations in relation to this matter, and then keep on top of that.
Thank you.
If there are no other comments, I will observe that it is just before 8 o'clock, and I'll call this meeting to a close. Okay, thank you very much, everyone.